Patel Brothers.
Patel Brothers.
Patel Brothers.
Let's go check it out.
Amit, I've been hearing a lot about Patel Brothers lately. Looks like they're kind of a big deal when it comes to Indian groceries in the US, right?
Absolutely, Rahul, because I think Patel Brothers is as good as the Walmart of Indian grocery in the US, right? In fact, their story started back in 1974, so 50 years ago, when these two brothers realized there is a need in the Indian immigrant community for authentic Indian grocery. So imagine 50 years ago, when people came to the US, they were struggling to find their spices, roti and chawal and all of those kind of products. So those were not easily available. And in fact, the story is Mafat Patel, he was raised in Gujarat, but he came to the US in 1968 and came to do a mechanical engineering, and he also did an MBA at Indiana University. So he says his favorite food was khichdi, okay? And for khichdi, he needed haldi and rice flour and so many other ingredients, which were not easily available for him. So he thought this is a very big problem. In fact, he was speaking to many of his other friends, Indian immigrants in that Chicago area, and everybody was complaining about the same thing. They were not able to find the authentic Indian ingredients. So that's when that idea of a grocery store that carried exclusive Indian origin products came to his mind. And then he, quickly realized that this is something that he wants to do. He spoke with his brother Tulsi, who was actually in India at that time, and said, "This is what we want to do." Right? And so Tulsi and then his wife Aruna, they moved to the US in 1971. And then for 3 years, they, worked together closely. Mafat, Tulsi, Aruna, they all worked very closely. And then they've opened the first Patel Brothers in 1974 on Devon Street in Chicago. It was a very small store, close to about 900 square feet. But today, that brand has over 52 stores nationwide. And every time I go to Patel Brothers, Rahul, I'll tell you, the experience is very unique, right? It's very calm. The store feels like India, but it's a very pleasant experience whenever I've been there. I think the story of both of these brothers is the perfect example of the American dream, or the Indian American dream, if I may say.
That's great. And it's incredible that just two brothers, they built such a big empire. I can call it an empire. So do you also have some information on how they started?
Yes, like I said, those two brothers, they started off with that small store. I think their goal was very simple. And that is what attracts me to that brand every time, right? They wanted to bring the flavors of India to the Indian diaspora over here. Also introduce these flavors to a wider American population. And they did not have a lot of money, right? So they made a very modest investment. They filled that store with spices, lentils, dal, fresh vegetables and fruits, and everything that's like the basic fundamentals of Indian cooking. So they had all of those kind of products. Now, today, if you go to those stores, you can name it, you will find it, right? In fact, there's a joke that I always say within my family when they ask me, India se kuch bhejna hai, kuch lana hai and all that stuff. मैं बोलता हूँ यहाँ सब मिलता है, right? In fact, जो चीजें आपको इंडिया में easily नहीं मिलेगी, वो यहाँ पर आपको मिल जाएगी, right? Where you just come with me to Patel Brothers, and I'll make sure that you get what you don't find easily even in India.
Okay. So even in 1974, time we're talking about, there must be a few more Indian stores in the US. They might not be the first one. So what made them stand out? I mean, how did they become so popular?
I think it is their simplicity, right? And the focus on quality and authenticity, right? They wanted to make sure that people got fresh, high quality products at affordable prices. So this is the mantra for any business that wants to win a loyal customer base, right?
We are Indian, so obviously we need the Indian food, and everything is available. And once you are coming to this store, you will get everything. You don't have to go anywhere.
Everybody wanted to have good quality products and also be affordable at the same time. So I think soon everybody came to know about Patel Brothers, and it became a common trusted name in all Indian households, especially in the US.
Cool, cool. And now I've heard that there's stores all over the country. Is that right?
Exactly. I mean, from that first store in Chicago, now they're expanded to over 52 locations across the US. Each store carries the same promise of quality and authenticity. In fact, I live very close to a store here in Suwannee, in Georgia.
Mhm.
And every time I go to that store, the staff is very humble and polite. They'll greet you, they'll talk to you. It just feels like, you would go to a Kirana store back home and the store owner or the staff will know you, right? So they'll ask you how you are, how are the kids, and last time what you bought, kaisa laga. Then they'll tell you, आज अब नया ये आया है, आम आए हैं, अरे जामुन आए हैं, आप last time बोल रहे थे जामुन खाना है. So then they'll remember what you wanted, what you were looking for, and very nice and polite. It's an experience. So in fact, next time you're here, Rahul, one day we'll just go to Patel Brothers and you'll live that experience. And I feel I've received the same sort of treatment no matter whichever Patel Brothers stores that I've been to, right? So there's another one here in Decatur, in Georgia, here in Atlanta suburbs, right? That's also great. I feel that the two brothers, they inculcated that humbleness as a core value for them. So that is very evident when you are inside the store or interacting with any of the staff members.
That's quite impressive. Quite impressive. And I'm sure it's not just about groceries, is it? It seems like Patel Brothers is also a cultural hub for the Indian community, or sort of a cultural hub for Indian community. What do you say?
That is true. It's not just groceries. Like I said, it is a feeling or a sense of belonging, right? So they've also built a community. Like I said, people will know you. They'll ask you how you are, and not just that. So there's also other kind of products. Apart from grocery, there's जैसे आपको पूजा की सामग्री होती है, right? So you're looking for those kind of things. There are nostalgic things that you can find over here. Rahul, you can find false over here, right? So अगर आपको फालसे मुझे इंडिया में नहीं मिलते थे जल्दी से, यहाँ मुझे साल भर फालसे मिल जाते. So in fact आपको दिल्ली में इतने नहीं मिलेंगे. I don't think you can find false in the winter.
How do you frozen false? You get frozen false?
Frozen false मिलते हैं, right? That's right.
I hope Indian businesses are also listening to this. We want to have them.
Right. So, in fact, I'm hopeful that very soon they'll also have fresh, false coming in. I've been telling them every time I go there, I said, frozen mil raha hai, fresh chahiye. So they listen to customer feedback. They take it seriously. And I've seen that if you tell them that you're looking for these kind of products, they figure out how to make it happen. So that's the whole sense of community, right? They'll make sure that people feel comfortable. You don't feel like you're very far from India. In fact, like I said previously, everything that you find in India, you can find over here, even better, more variety. So it is a beautiful community that they've built.
Right. And apart from community, I'm also thinking about business. So it's amazing, how impact one small business can have. The story is absolutely inspiring.
Very true, Rahul, very true. I think their journey from being a small store in Chicago to a nationwide chain is a true testament of their hard work, the dedication, and also the support of the community, right? So they work within the community and they work for the community. So I feel that it is a classic example of the resilience and the entrepreneurial spirit of the Indian diaspora in America. So Patel Brothers is a textbook example.
Cool, absolutely. I'm sure they are.
There are so many products that I can find over here at Patel Brothers that I'm sure you will struggle. In fact, we can do a competition of products that I find here at Patel Brothers, which you might struggle to find in India. Things like that Swad Ki Goli, right? Fatafat.
Well, I know, and it's a little hard to find in India now. We don't get it piece by piece the way we used to get it when we were kids. So now we have to buy a full box of it, which it's no point buying that some of maybe 200 of them. I mean, you don't when you just need one.
And what is the most beautiful product over there, I'll tell you, is, and this is something that you have to witness, is the roti making machine. Okay. It's like a huge machine. And, constantly they will be adding, the roti atta to that machine. It will come back with fresh roti and everything, and they'll be packed nicely. And you can buy 5, 10, 20, 30 rotis. But they're really fresh, and it's not like frozen roti. Frozen roti bhi mil jati hai. You can get that. A lot of people have that in their freezers. But this is, you can get fresh roti. So you go there any time of the day, you pick up that fresh roti, a pack of 20, 30, and come back. And I see a lot of people doing that. In fact, now they've also started these eggless cakes. Okay, so they understand the Indian customer very well, right? What are we looking for? So you want eggless pastries, eggless cakes. You can find them at Patel Brothers. So I think their attention to detail, understanding that Indian diaspora, the Indian customers, our likes, dislikes, makes them a classic business. So I'm very proud to see what they have built and what they are doing for the community. And I think this will also inspire many more other entrepreneurs to follow suit.
Amit, thank you for sharing all that about Patel Brothers. And it's great to know so much. And you had actually done your homework very well with the information that you gave, very detailed information. And for those watching, if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories from the Indian community.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit.